Good evening and welcome back, everyone. A Mac night, because why not? Yeah, welcome back. Hope everyone had a great retro week. Maybe you done some fun projects or played some retro games. Who knows? Maybe playing modern games. I don't judge. So, everyone's having a good night so far, or good evening, good morning, or whatever the time is when you're watching this. I guess the fan base is spread out across the world, so not gonna say which time zone everyone is in. But welcome back anyway. We played Quake for the stream last week since it was the 30th anniversary and made us all feel extremely old. Before I went on a trip to Sweden here recently, I did pick up the Umax SuperMac clone machine, um, and that was a new pickup for me. And like, we'll talk more about the clone machines, and I'm hoping that some more Mac people will join in because I can fill in the gaps on my very poor knowledge of the particular era of Macs and everything. But it's a fascinating time period. So this particular machine is a clone machine authorized by Apple to run Mac OS, technically 7.6, I think. This one has been upgraded to 8.6, and we'll talk about that in a second. Um, something that Apple never really approved, but there's some ways around it. So that when then I think again I'm maybe misconstruing all of this here now, but when Steve Jobs came back to Apple, he kind of axed the clone program because it was cutting into sales because the clones were like more price conscious choices or more power and benefits for lower price than the Apple products themselves. So they were being sold concurrently with Apple's own devices, which caused some problems for Apple. So they axed the clone. I think they basically did not grant them a Mac OS 8 license, so they could not continue making Macs. Basically, they just were left in the dust. So some of these Macs, the clone Macs, are really, really interesting and fascinating. I find because they're really cool machines. I'll show a picture in a second here of this particular one. But I saw this posted locally here on Facebook Marketplace. Someone had like the clone set up with the keyboard and mouse, speakers, and a whole bunch of extra stuff, and then the monitor and everything. I'm like, well, that's a really cool machine because if you're a kind of a Mac noob like I was coming into this, you have the 68K machines, the earlier Macs. Probably you think of the all-in-one Macs and the black and white ones. They use the Motorola 68,000 series processors. Same thing that's in Genesis, that's in the Amiga, that's in the Atari ST, etc., etc. And that only got them so far. Then the PowerPC platform, collaboration between IBM and Motorola, came out, and it's a brand new architecture, RISC architecture. We're using a whole bunch of stuff these days still, and they had to rewrite the operating system to handle that. So this is the new PowerPC generation of Macs, which I really enjoy. I don't know why. Maybe because it's in the mid to late '90s. You're more into multimedia, like you wade right into multimedia stuff for this type of platform, which I find very fascinating. So I love these PowerPC machines. The later ones, of course, will be your, in the towers with the easy to open the G3 iMac, of course, also PowerPC processor, all the way up to the towers and the G4s and the G5s, and then eventually they went Intel, right? So, but for this time period in the 90s, these are kind of Pentium equivalent machines, right, or thereabouts, or in that same ballpark. We will switch to, yeah, this is the nice background you get with this Super Mac. I'll throw up a picture of this particular one here. You can see the specs right below me here now. This is then a PowerPC 603 running at 240 megahertz. So it's pretty quick for being this era of Power Mac. A lot of the ones were, I have another one that we played with many times before, which is at like 80 megahertz. So this one is considerably faster. And for those that joined last week, we did play Quake on this, and it handled it quite well actually. So a picture up on this one here. Yeah, this is the tower we're playing on tonight. You can see it's a very unassuming beige tower. It's not exactly what you would consider like, Apple fancy for the time period, but it's probably what made it so popular. It was cheaper. It had really good specs for the price and everything, and it was expandable much easier than a lot of the Macs were. So this one even has, and I'm sure I'm missing parts here now too as far as specs go, but it has IDE and SCSI on board, both of them. So that makes it really expandable and usable, right? Additional drive base and everything, just plop everything in. If you open it, it looks like a PC. Like if you showed the inside of this machine, it's a dead ringer for any given PC of the era. So maybe not as fancy in design, but I love these clone Macs because they are, from what I understand, some of the better, better power PC Macs from this era to give you a lot for what it is. Um, yeah, no manual eject. They're Reaper soon leak. I said your name right, but yeah, there's that part. As you notice that there's, as you mentioned, there's no button to eject the floppy. You have to drag the floppy to trash, which I always thought was a neat party trick. I thought that was super, super cool when I was a kid. Thought it was so, so awesome and different. So yeah, there's definitely some limitations on everything, but all in all, some of these clone Macs are some of the best Macs you can really get from this particular era. I mean, I'm a big fan of the G4 towers, so the G3, G4 towers, and all that too, which kind of Apple took to heart some of that expandability, repairability, ease of access, upgradability, etc. But then, of course, they just threw that to the wayside pretty quickly with very proprietary designs, custom everything, and you can't upgrade them at all. So, but for a while here in the mid to late 90s, you can get some really cool Macs. And the Umax is one of the clone makers. There were many of them. Motorola made their own ones. There were quite a few different models, and someone else who's aware of this can pipe in here as well. But there's a breadth of different clone Macs from this particular era, and they didn't last that long. So to me, the odds of finding one I feel pretty low because think about it. If you're at a recycler or a retro hunt or something, you see one of these towers. It looks like any generic PC from the era and just gets scrapped, probably or recycled. Not anything special. Welcome, Sick'em Blues. It just looks like a generic PC, right? So there's nothing that stands out unless you see that little logo. It says SuperMac. So clone machines, to my knowledge, are pretty sought after because of what they provide. And to me, they're almost, well, to me, this particular one is cooler than the Macs being made by Apple at the time because it just, I don't know, it goes in the face of what Apple was trying to do. So I love this machine. We haven't messed with it that much. We played Quake on it. I have installed some games, and as you can probably tell, it's got a blue SCSI in here now. I hooked that up recently, printed a 3D bracket to hold it and everything, because I wanted to have a non-spinning disk, because the machine came with an IDE spinning disk. Again, pretty awesome that you can um, use both IDE and SCSI at the same time, I think. The CD drive also is SCSI, but so the internal IDE drive is just unplugged right now. And I'm not sure I'm going to use it at all, but it's nice to have there as a backup, I guess. If the Blue Skies is having problems, I can flip over to that. So this particular machine shipped then with some form of Mac OS 7, but Apple did not grant them a license to make Mac OS 8 machines, basically leaving them in the dust. So some crafty person has shoehorned a SuperMac software suite onto a Mac OS 8.6 deployment, which is, to my understanding, 8.6 is the sweet spot for faster PowerPC processors like this here. So that's what I'm using. So this is a hackneyed version. It may not work in everything we're doing, so we'll see. There might be some problems with it. It is a custom setup, and I'm just kind of giving it a try. The nice thing with the Blue SCSI is since the drive is basically like a hard disk file, I can just create a new one or copy it or whatever I want to do. So, and some of you may have seen, but there was a new drive bay display that just came out for the Blue SCSI, and I might buy that too and put it in this machine, one of the spare bays there, and then you can actually control the ISO files you're running or the HD files and everything, because I can do CD as well directly from a display and select them there, and the SD card is accessible from front. So I think that's pretty fantastic. So the Pico ID will have the same thing. It's the same design. They just collaborated. So just came out today, I think, for the Blue SCSI. So that's new. Because right now, the Blue SCSI is buried deep in this machine, just like a hard drive. I'm just put it in there as a hard drive replacement. I can't access it easily without taking the case off, which the case actually comes off pretty easy. Again, it's designed to be usable, this machine, compared to the Macs that came around later. All right. Yep, that is a fact of being old. So when I was in Sweden now, my parents had a robotic mower. It's becoming very popular there. If you drive around the countryside, every freaking lawn's got a little robotic mower. Doesn't work for every climate, of course, but they can keep the grass trimmed. It mows like every other day, so it never has a chance to grow very far. So it's a neat thing, but part of me is contemplating that as I'm getting older, but not right now. But we can go into the take a look at a few things of this machine then. So we have 48 megabytes of RAM on this guy. I'm not sure if this is the max, but it only has one memory slot in here, I believe. So that makes it a little limited on what you can use. There's onboard memory and then a memory expansion. It doesn't have multiple ones, so that slows you down or limits you a little bit on how much memory you can cram in there. But 48 meg is plenty for a machine like this and what we're doing with it. So you can try the system profiler. It can take a little while sometimes. You can actually look at the specs of the machine whenever it decides to. Again, we may run into instability and have some reboots ahead of us because this is a non official release for the SuperMac. And the SuperMac has some software stuff that they bundle with it because, again, it was trying to do its own thing, right? It was a Mac, but it was a SuperMac. I don't know. Just the idea of a SuperMac is pretty funny to me. So, from one who does not have a ton of experience using Mac OS with this era and everything, and I see why there was a clamoring to then eventually go to OS X or a rebuild of it, because it is a little unstable, I find, at times. Not saying Windows 98 or the equivalent from that era is always rock solid, but I think like Windows 98 SE, I think that's incredibly stable. Maybe that's the Mac OS 9 point whatever instead compared to 8.6. But to my understanding, 8.6 is a really nice sweet spot for these semi-faster Macs compared to 7.2 or whatever that you would run on an older Mac. For example, I reloaded that 7.2 or 7.6, I can't remember, on the other Power PC, the 80 megahertz one, because that one doesn't have enough horsepower to run 8.6 that well, which we've done in the past. So, yeah, we got built-in memory here. We got a Power PC processor, a 603 from Motorola at 240 megahertz. And anyone who's not familiar with these, um, it's hard to really correlate or specifically transfer over a PowerPC processor because it's not a one-to-one. This is not equivalent to a Pentium at 240 megahertz. I mean, again, I could be very wrong here. To my understanding, when you get into the higher megahertz on the Pentium line, dollar to dollar, or megahertz per megahertz, the Pentium will outrun a PowerPC, at least that at this point, unless the software is really optimized for it. So maybe I'm just talking gibberish there, but that was my understanding. But yeah, we have that. We got built-in memory. Let's see, 48. So, okay, we do have two RAM banks. So we have logic board 8 megabyte built-in, and we got two 16 megabyte modules. So maybe I'll upgrade that at some point if I deem the need for this. But I don't have a ton of games on here. We'll do loading and testing tonight. So if there's specific requests, let me know. We can always acquire, stay in the high seas to acquire additional software. It's not a problem. But I have this connected to the network, so we can grab from the NAS. I'll be on the processor. Look at the network overview. It took me a little while to get. It came with a network adapter. And the thing I've found, at least for my usage so far, I find that 8.6 has a lot of the TCP/IP stuff installed preemptively, and it makes networking a lot easier. Yes, we'll try Snood. Hello. It has all the TCP/IP stuff installed already, which makes it a lot easier to network with my existing network. Compared to 7 point whatever was installed in the beginning, doesn't have that installed, and it was kind of a mess. So I opted to shoehorn 8.6 on here. You can look at our devices. Should mostly be Blue SCSI devices and a CD drive, since the internal ID spinning disk is not hooked up right now. And maybe there's stuff that is a problem, like, maybe I haven't set it up correctly. Yeah, you're right. It's probably not too dissimilar from the XPS series. I have an XPS, like a Pentium, and a lot of those P1, P2, P3s use a similar case, right, for the Dell ones. So probably not wrong. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That was kind of probably a good summary there. It took a long time, like, as I understand, it took a long time for developers to write native code. And you often got the quote unquote fat binary where software packages supported both the 68,000 processors and the PowerPC. It took a long time to get everything over natively. I mean, because like anything, right? Look at DOS, look at Windows 9 or 9X compatibility, how long that stuck around, how it's still run in some ways. It takes a long time for developers to switch over to using new tools and everything. So, yeah, so I actually found someone had made a custom image for this that I dropped on the Blue SCSI, which I've then since cleaned out or uninstalled a bunch of stuff. And then I created additional hard drives on here, storage one, that I can drop more files on and everything. CD-ROM one, I have nothing in there right now, unless... That's the thing. There's always something better, right? But these are pretty awesome way to experience classic Mac OS. Share, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we have the share here. I have a bunch of Mac games on it. And like I said, we tried Quake here last time, right? That's what we played on this. We were messing around. But I reorganized my Mac game folder on my NAS here. So you have my alphabetical here now. So I can find them semi-easy instead of before. It was kind of a humble, or like a jumble. I had basically drug in or created folders for each machine. So the 7100 had a folder, the OSX machine or the faster power PCs had a specific folder, but now I just kind of mushed it all together like the Windows one. I messed with that yesterday, but this is the blue SCSI on the storage here. We have a few games. Let's see. We should probably move Quake in there. No, sorry. We had Quake 1. Yeah. What happens inevitably with these things, I find it very hard to stay organized on the old Mac OS for some reason. You just, with the fact you can just drag and drop stuff everywhere, it just ends up being a hodgepodge of things sitting around everywhere. That makes it a little interesting. But we should probably, at the very least, get Doom on this thing, because we don't have Doom on here. That's not okay. Where's actually just old-fashioned Doom? Do I even have it on here? Ultimate Doom. There we go. Now, a lot of these things aren't going to be, super fast to copy, because, it's 100 megabit, but it's actually pretty okay. And I haven't looked at if there's anything in particular I need to do or change in settings as far as like cache goes, etc. Having a virtual or an emulated drive. For example, we have 64 megabytes of virtual memory right on a hard drive. Maybe that's not a good idea with a non-spinning disk. I'm not sure, but anytime anyone's watching this and it's like, oh my goodness, why would you do that on a Mac? Like, tell me. I am still fumbling around and pretty noob at the whole platform. So if there are recommendations for settings or things I should do or shouldn't do, definitely shout out in chat. I would like to learn, and it's hard to find good information among all the, people have been posting stuff online about these computers for decades now, right? Rightfully so. They are decades old. It's hard to find the stuff that's actually fully useful. So we'll try Doom first, because we gotta have Doom on a machine. That's just a thing you do. I gotta run Doom, right? No, it will not run Crysis, so don't ask, but it'll probably run Doom. It does run Quake, which to me is almost like the Crysis for this particular machine era. Not super fast, but it ran it, so. And I think to me, the idea is like, you open a folder in Windows and 995 or 98 or whatever, or XP, etc. All of them look the same. It's structured, it's organized. Here, it stores where you drag it. It almost has a bit of a Amiga feel to it. And it just gets a little unstructured when it's just kind of a mess like that. I know you can look at it through sorted like we do here, right? It's an alphabetical order, so there are ways around it or making it better, of course. But did it drop that anywhere? Do I have to refresh it? Shows you how much I'm. I'll look properly. All right, there's the toast. Yep, I want to open a toast. Toast file is a image file, basically. Try to just open it so I can access it. Good. Whenever it decides to mount, it should show up. Oh, I probably need to push the mount button, perhaps. There we go. I see it mounts as a CD. There's like archives and disk image files and toast disk files, and there's so many different ones on the Mac, it seems. Ultimate Doom installer. So I already had it in here, right? Did I miss it? On here. Who knows? I probably already installed it. We're going to find it again now, but whatever. You got a Doom, so. I should run Doom without really any problem, so. That's true. You need to have that too. And that's the thing. So my brother had, I want to say a Sentra or something like that, or an LC or something in that era. He played, I remember visiting him in college. He lived in an apartment with multiple rooms, shared it with friends, and he had SimCity on there, SimCity 2000. So I have a very vivid memory of sitting down and playing SimCity 2000 on my brother's Mac in college like that. Which just that particular era of Mac kind of ingrained. So please restart your Mac before playing. Fine. I'm going to guess it's probably on. Oh, it is here. Well, we're going to. And here's what always threw me off. Like, it doesn't feel right that. I think we can unmount this by just tossing it in the trash. The fact that, like, to me, you're so used to Windows, or I am used to Windows, where there's registry and it matters where you have stuff. But the fact you can just do this, like, yep, I'm just gonna move this folder. That's the installation of the game. It's just like it feels like very foreign to me because it's not right. Dang it! Like the fact that I can just drag stuff around like that without any repercussions. That is really weird to me. We are going to reboot it because that was complained about, and we probably should. So I think it's because it might install networking stack information and stuff like that. Oop. Mac sound. Bong. And it's weird. I keep saying weird, but coming from like on a Windows thing where you have DOS being the underpinning until later, but there's no command line here at all. Like this is all GUI driven. Like there is no command line. There's no shell to drop out to. Um, it's just it's built from the ground up to be a GUI based operating system. And that's weird to me because you come from Windows and it was like a shell on top of DOS forever, right? It has some familiarity, of course, to it, but it feels really weird. Yeah, to have just a GUI like that. I mean, we're kind of used to today where you have a GUI and that you can launch a shell and do things from it. But the fact that this is just like this is GUI straight up and down. Like maybe there are ways to run a shell and run commands on here. Certainly not natively that I know of. So at the bottom there's loading extensions, which is like plugins or extra applications that will be on startup or whatever. I tried to clean out some of them, but then there's some involved here that are needed. So I might complain about time because battery is dead or something, as is expected. That's par for the course with retro computers. Fortunately, the previous owner was insightful enough to put in a battery pack and wire it so there's no barrel battery and stuff like that in the machine anymore. Or maybe there never was, but I need to take a look at those batteries and see why maybe they're not working correctly. Let's see if this runs. That's going to be an exercise in here to see which things actually run or not. Ultimate Doom, will you run? Fine, 2 for 6 colors. Because when I'm trying to run Doom 2, it crashes every time. So maybe no. How does Doom sound on the sound card on this thing? I think we played Doom before on the other PowerPC, but I find the audio setup fascinating. Remember, this runs at a higher resolution as well because the macOS doesn't, or it doesn't have 720 by, 240 or 200, whatever the heck the DOS is. Maybe it doesn't have audio at all, or audio. Maybe it doesn't have. Yeah, so it's probably just recorded from. It's weird. It's like it's not a at least an SC55 or anything like that I almost would expect. Like the drums don't sound right unless they pulled it from some other MIDI device. Maybe I'm just fucking out behind here now, but it does not sound like a Roland sound device. Like they recorded something else. Okay, how do you... Oh, that's the shoot. Probably should look at how you steer this freaking game. Shoot. Okay, so we have... That's interesting controls. It runs fine, but at the same time, this is not running, that much better than a 486, really, right? A P1 of any decent horsepower will run this game like nothing, right? And I think that just goes to show how there was a problem with optimization. Kernel struggled with audio volume and everything. How that is so important, and it's just like, is your software optimized for the platform in question? Let's see about, let's see. Yeah, and you get the feeling, too, that a lot of these ports were just like, it was not the primary focus, right? That's not what they were going for, or the studios were that concerned about. Often they were ported by other companies. This was not written by id, you know. Someone else basically just, like, took over and ported it to Mac. And they may not be too worried about optimizing it, or, you know, I'm sure there's, with the many architectural differences, too, the PowerPC platform was not intended primarily as a gaming machine, right? I mean, it games, obviously, but high-performance gaming was probably not the priority. It's a shoddy. Yeah, because it definitely feels... If we go, like, full screen here, or at least, you know... Oh, got looping audio there. Doesn't seem like it made a huge difference going to full screen, at least. Yeah, this is She0813. How's it going? Doing good. Just playing a little Doom on the PowerPC, or SuperMac, as we call it. I'm just going to use the controls here because it's a little different, so... That's weird. I wonder if the record is... Like, you're probably right that this is not... I'm not sure if this is... this is Shell. Gotcha. I'm not sure if this is, like, rendered live on the sound chip or if it's just a playback, like you said. Might be a playback, yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting evening LMTTN. That is an interesting observation, too. It's like, I just love platform differences like this, because you have games like this that you are, at least to me, I'm extremely familiar with, right? And you're playing it here on something that, for all intents and purposes, was not originally designed for it, but, you know, it was a platform that had systems out there, and then, of course, it gets Doom, and it gets all the popular games and everything as much as it could. So we're going to check a few more ports out tonight, but it feels like you got to have Doom on this kind of machine, right? The goal in general, I think, was to... I was thinking to myself, like, I need to load up some games on this machine. I was like, well, then I should probably stream it, so... The idea, or what drew me to this tower as well, is the fact that I can kind of have this sitting here in my streaming stack as a tower instead of dragging the other PowerPC machine over, which is, to be honest, a bit of a pain. So this is a nicer solution. No, they really weren't, and I think that it hits the nail on the hammer, so... man, I've never tried anything like Deus Ex on that, especially G3. I mean, that's... You're probably more in the G4 territory too, right? But it's like, I know we played before, but I remember also we were doing the mirror door, Firewire, you know, all-out Mac that I have, the G4, that runs dual processor, got a Radeon 9800 Pro, you know, it's got everything you'd expect to have kick-ass performance, and it's just not there. And it could very well be that I have not configured it correctly and take another look at it. But just it does not feel like it's running as fast as you'd think it would with those specs. Especially 9800 Pro. That alone should account for quite a bit of performance, but it does not, so... And that could be just, you know, due to optimization, stuff like that, and like we saw on the Sega 32X, right? You can get the, you know, Doom on the 32X. It's alright, but then you play the resurrected version, which is amazing. And that's modern optimizations and updates, right? That's done that. That was not part of the original design, so... And, you know, you gotta give the developers a bit of grace, too, because there's a matter of timelines, development costs, you know, availability, etc., so... Hey, Bruce Lee, welcome. Yeah, exactly, and I think that particular machine, I have something not correctly set up, I think, on that one. It just feels like it should be faster than it is. And again, it could just be, you know, maybe I'm expecting too much of it. But it is just... Realize how many monster clauses there were here. Well, nothing better than quite than the shotgun in Doom. That's probably right, yeah. Oh, goodness. I need to dig around, because little of what I did on... I'm pleased that someone was using the website, I guess, but I decided in an evening to just, like, I'm going to rebuild the website and do it better and all that stuff, and ended up basically deleting it. So, because of an update, I will try and find that again. I don't think it's gone or anything. I just have to dig a little bit. You did ask me, and I forgot, so I apologize for that, but I'll take a look. Because I did start, like, I had so many plans around the website, and I want to relaunch it and do it better. I wanted to be able to upload, you know, software packs, bundles, you know, things like that, and the backgrounds I was using on stream and stuff like that. That was the idea. But then, like many ideas, they start out and then, like, nah, I'll get to it. Yeah, so I want to sit down at some point and, like, really... I need to rebuild the website as simple as possible, so actually I'm inclined to use it. I think that's the key for me. Just make it as simple as possible, like blog site with storage on it, and that's it. So I need to just do that. Shouldn't be too complicated, but I just kick the can down the road, so... Oh man, yeah, you're driving all over the place. Goodness. How's trucker life treating you so far? And Myth 1 is good. You're talking... When we're saying specs here, do you mean Myth 1, like this machine? Or do you mean that, that G4, mirrored or whatever one, right? This machine has 3D capabilities, but it's not... Then again, that's a Pentium, era game, isn't it? So... I was playing Doom here. Yeah, I think it's running... so the weird part is that it is the resolution of the window is 800 by 600. And then the internal render resolution, of course, as you can tell, is definitely lower. Okay, I'm going to check out that then. But I'm not sure how to open... So F5 is detail? High detail. Oh, look. Oh my goodness, look at this. Wow. I would say yes. This is... Myst is perfect for this. And I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Haha, geek it. You can laugh at it. But I suck at games like that. I just stare myself blind at problems. I know it's iconic for this era of machine. But I probably won't play that, so I don't make a fool of myself, so... I was wondering about the drop-down, but... But here we go, running at very high resolution now. Look at how sharp that is. It feels like when we were doing that last week and just playing Quake 1 on a high-powered machine in software rendering. There's something unique with high-resolution software rendering. But this is, of course, way too sharp, so this is more like what you would see in DOS, right? High detail. Low detail. And my Swedish accent lost another thing today with Sweden getting knocked out of the World Cup, but oh well. They were not expected to beat France, so... Alright, well that's Quake, or Quake, that's Doom. Let's see, we have... This is the thing that, like, you're doing all this, and like, I'm playing Doom, and it's, oh, here we go. There's a Mac dialogue prompt. So I don't know, there's no way to pull up the Mac menu here, which is a little odd. What was quit? F10, oh, L, let's see, there was a gamma fix, F11. But it's too bright with just off. Please don't leave, there's more demon to toast. What? Yes, please. So yeah, it requires 2 for 6 colors and everything, but normally in the other games that we've done, you get the Mac menu up there, but I might be missing something too, so... again, I might be driving some people that know the Mac nuts, because I'm just flying through things. We do need to play a little Tetris Max, because, oh my goodness, that's my favorite music. This is the one we played on the Quadra years ago, and then the composer of that Tetris track showed up, which I thought was just freaking amazing. I think there's a... Peter Wagner. He showed up at the stream, which I thought was just fantastic. Gotta remember how to play this freaking game. This feels like back then there was just a Wild West on what control scheme things had, right? It was always just like, I'm sorry, I'm terrible at Tetris. There was no like expectation of what things would be. Yeah, that's what sold me on. So that was my brother had this on his Mac too, and it took me years to figure out what this was because I played it and like, oh my goodness, the music is amazing. But then I didn't know where it was from, and then eventually I found it again. It turns out it was Tetris Max. The composer has since made a remix version that he has on YouTube, which is also amazing. Got some extreme Amiga overtures there, or mod music to me. But yeah, that was pretty awesome when he joined the stream. Again, this was years ago. That's when we were playing it. For those of you who remember, we played Monkey Island using the particular audio preset, and it was just hilariously bad. So, did we try that again tonight? Anyway, the music is fantastic. It just loops like that, but it was just ingrained in my brain, this particular music, and like I did not know where it was from, and then eventually I found it. That's true. We have actually played Monkey Island. I have 2 full live streams with Monkey Island. I think we're basically the Chuck's like cave on that, and then I parked it and we never finished it. So if you want to go back and look at that, I want to get into the habit of maybe finishing games more than we have historically. Unfortunately, you can't pause and listen to the music. You have to like play the game, so it's kind of a bummer. One thing that I would run it, but it crashes every time. Civilization looks really good on this because you have a native high resolution, right? You get a lot of benefits from running Civilization here in this, window environment. But for some reason, it just, every time you open the diplomacy window, it crashes every time. And that kind of limits your options quite a bit in playing Civilization. So, let's see, did we try Heretic on? I might have tried it, but it might have broken. Try it. There's a PPC native version then, right? That's PowerPC. Okay, it works. Because it runs on Doom Engine, so it should work, right? So I loaded up a whole bunch of games, supposedly, that are good on this system. Or just popular Mac OS games from this era, the PowerPC ones. Because there's so many, and the people that grew up with these, they might be able to, name 20 games that they played when they were kids or younger, but I don't have that experience because I didn't have exposure to the Mac in this. So let's see. High detail. Oh, yeah. Mid 2x2 is okay. Oh, that's a little too small. 2x2. See, does it play the same way? So yeah, that's a, it's got the same, like, well, this is like keyboard or arrows. And it runs even better than Doom, it feels like. Be gone! So that's the thing, with procurement of devices for computers, right, is that I've just been generally pretty lucky. So this particular machine we're playing on right now, I got on Facebook Marketplace, I mean, maybe a month and a half ago. I just saw it listed, and the seller had it up for a while and had not sold, and I realized that, okay, well, it wasn't that far for me to get it, and I did not have a clone Mac like this, so I thought it was a neat one to pick up. The other Macs, for example, I got in a bundle. There was a gentleman who was moving out of state, and he had collected a large amount of retro computers, as one does, as we all do. And he was looking to offload some of them to someone who would use them. And I bought like 6 machines from him for a good price. That included a G3, a G4, the Mirador G4, and like 3 different PCs and like some extra stuff, networking, hard drives. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff. And he was just so excited for it to go to someone who was going to use it, which I can relate. Like, you don't want to just go to some reseller or go in the trash pile. So that was really cool. He really appreciated it. He joined the stream a couple times too. So that was awesome to see. So that's where I got a lot of my Macs. And then also locally, there was a university here that years and years ago, like many universities, had Macs. And there was a custodian at the university here, and when they were getting rid of all the Macs, these generation of Macs, like the PowerPC ones, earlier ones, in the early 2000s, he felt like, oh, well, they're just throwing them out. They can't just get rid of them. That included a lot of... I have a 2CI. So that's the like desktop computer version of the Mac all-in-one or whatever, the Mac SC30 basically. So he had that, and he had Quadras and LCs and just piles of machines. PowerPC, which is where I got my other PowerPC 7100 from. And he was basically just like, take them, because he was trying to get rid of them and make them go to someone who would use them. And he basically had me load up and bring stuff to VCF Midwest, where I brought multiple things to other people as well, because he was not trying to make money on it. He just wanted to go to somewhere. He was moving as well, and he had to get rid of things. So I got several machines there, but that accounts for all the Macs I've picked up. Oh, I do have a Mac SC30, which I got from a great friend who was just trying to do the same thing, trying to downsize his collection, wanted to go to someone who would use it. So there's a lot of that going around. And I feel the same way when I get rid of machines. I really wanted to go to either someone who's going to use it or get some enjoyment for it instead of just letting go to resellers. So I just read your comment there, Revenant, on the MIDI files. Interesting. I burned a couple of games that I definitely own here. And I wanted to try this one. This is Settlers 2. I love that game on PC. No, we don't have that one anymore. I got actually that one I sold off for pittance, I think, to someone else, because we ended up storing that machine for years. Complete cache acceleration file. So smart cache files created. Reduce your cache file preferences.
CD-ROM toolkit reports no room for the complete cache acceleration.
Okay, lady. Stop talking. There we go. There's probably optimizations I should do with this machine. I'm gonna guess so. Yeah, that's great. The Windows 98 is awesome. XP, I feel like once you have Windows 98 and XP, you can cover so much gaming ground, right? Because you have all the way from DOS all the way up to mid 2000s, if not newer, right? But I always found this era of Mac fascinating, which is why we're doing this in the first place. But mostly because I wasn't that exposed to it, besides just here and there. And I don't know. Every time I dip into a new platform I haven't messed with, one that is on my list still, I have an Atari ST, and we haven't streamed with it yet, which I really want to do because there's a lot of cool stuff on that one. That's an entire own platform, 16-bit computer, right? We've done playing with the Amiga, but you have all these entire platforms that are, for yourself, maybe unexplored, and it can be really fun to dig into it and see. In this case here, we're dealing with ports. This might just be playing directly from the CD. Turn off virtual memory. Wow. Harsh. Okay. I guess we'll do that. Off. Interesting. Huh. But we have 48 megs of memory, so we should not be running out of memory in theory for this machine. So we'll follow the advice and see what it says. Who am I to argue with the dialogue box? So the machine in question that Kate is talking about there is let's see, it was a PowerPC all-in-one. I want to say like a 120 or something. And oh, that's true. We could try that. And it was one that we never really used because it took a lot of space, and I don't know, I was not into Macs. Probably at this point, if I was where I am right now, I may not have gotten rid of it, but it just was taking a lot of space, and I never used it for like 10 years, I think. We kept dragging it with us, so then someone else was interested in it, so they could use it, and they did. So it went to a good home, to my knowledge. Same thing there. Trying to be like smart about what you keep. in my cases, unless I have a machine set up and ready to use, it's helpful for me if it's streaming or capture ready, meaning this is just a tower, right? I can just unplug it and put it back on the shelf and bring it out when we want to stream Mac games like this of this era. It's all good to go. So, um, yeah, DOS is always finicky for sure. Like I find getting into DOS and everything, I can highly recommend if you haven't messed with it, is Phil's Computer Labs DOS startup menu. That can give you a great starting point. Maybe you've already messed with that, but it gives you a great way to dip into the DOS gaming in the more advanced stuff, especially memory, because it's always a pain in the butt with memory. But then, yeah, drivers, interrupts, DMA, all that stuff is a pain. It feels like for a DOS machine, anytime you mess with it, you spend more time fixing that than you are playing the game sometimes. So, took me a while to get my 46 set up the way I wanted to, just boot into DOS and play DOS games because it is just it's a hassle. You want to try Doom again and see how that runs without the cache on? Try. Because now then it won't be caching to disk, right? Let's see. Yeah, whatever. We'll try that quick. It booted faster. Loading things faster. Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe it doesn't like, you get the thing when you have a virtual hard drive, which is like emulator, right? With maybe not liking the back and forth like that with what a caching situation is going to do. It seems to run about the same. We'll go to high detail here now. That's not a good choice. Certainly playable, but I don't think I see a huge difference. Maybe the loading times were better there, but that's about it. We played years ago, and I played Doom Ray Traced, right? And what I want to do again is take that 3060 Ti and slap it into... It was running fairly smooth, but maybe it was earlier too. And slap it into a PC that I use for like emulation and modern retro style games, like Medieval, play that, the boomer shooters. Be able to do that ray traced on a CRT is pretty cool, so I want to do that again. Yeah, I'm starting to play Doom again now. Ow. Oh, it could be, yeah. You're probably not wrong. That's the thing. There's a lot of quirks, right? And I know quite a bit of the quirks within DOS because I used it so much. But when it comes to these Macs, I'm, unfamiliar. So, nope, that was a gamma correction. F10. There we go. And I think it's really cool to do that because you can, in my case, I have a really nice black CRT from Dell that was sitting in basically a server room situation and was just an air, filtered air, like perfect life or whatever, rarely any runtime on it. So it's a really good image on it. So that's the one I've used before when we have streamed those kind of games, and I don't have it hooked up right now, but I'd like to build a emulation / retro machine from it, because then you could like use that for emulating like an overpowered Amiga or whatever you want to do on there, and also use it as a bridge machine. Probably to run in Linux, yeah, but then using a ray trace capable card like that on, you're running at 800 by 600 or a 1024 by 768 or something, it can just knock that out like nothing, right? So it's doable versus that machine would not be able to run ray tracing at, the more realistic resolutions you might use. So I want to do that at some point here. There's always an excuse to build another computer, right, Revenant? Always. Let's see if Settlers 2 runs now. I'm curious to see how this runs because it's... I think I played this in Windows 95, so it should be pretty comparable or direct. I guess if this runs from the CD, no installation required. I wonder if you can just drag the whole thing to the drive or something. But driven by a wind from the southwest. Did you know there's a story in Settlers 2? Yeah, whatever. Get me to the running little dudes around. This is the one I'm still sad I don't have the box for. For those that have followed me for a long time, you know there's a situation like behind me, big box games. I'm addicted, of course, but I used to have bags of games when I was moving a while or moving around a while, and my parents had it stored, and I put it in big black trash bags. You see where this is going already. Not for the fault of my family, but at some point they were cleaning out and ended up probably chucking an entire bag, which included probably Settlers 2. It had Theme Hospital, Theme Park. I mean, just tons and tons of boxes in there. And some of them have gotten back, but the one that has proven elusive is Settlers 2, because there was that them and I printed of them apparently. And I had Settlers 2 and the expansion, both. And they're gone now. I have the disc still, but not the um, boxes themselves. And they're hard to find. Settlers 2 and Theme Hospital seem to be some of the more hard ones to find. And Settlers 2 is listed frequently on eBay, but for a lot. And I have like an internal threshold. I cannot spend that much on a big box game. So, Indian Pixel, welcome. I don't think there's so many pipes with the pixel variety here tonight, but off we go. Late chapter. We got the Bryce rendered background there. Actually loading. It's doing something, I guess. I'm just curious to see how well it runs. How do you... Arrows, okay. For those that have not played this game, it is incredibly addictive. And I can't remember if we streamed it or not. We might have. If not, I need to do that, but I'm pretty sure we did. It is just super addictive. You are basically a little ant farm kind of thing going on. And you already see kind of like what's going on here, right? It's... You build road networks, and harvest the land and everything, and it's just really freaking addictive. I'm gonna start playing this here too much now already, I think. We have fishery. Flag here. You basically operate by building little roads, and the little dudes run back and forth transporting things. So now you're building a... Yep, same button supply. It runs about the same as it does on PC. It seems very equivalent here. Well, we're running at 800 by 600, right? So it is... I wonder if there's any options in the menu here. Game menu. Nope, no options. Just load, save, and that's it. Yeah, it's about the same. This game is a time, like, destroyer. You can start playing this, and a few hours went by, and like, oh, what just happened? It's incredibly addictive, so... Gotta be a little smart where you put things, etc. Put a nice little farm here. I'm not being very efficient here now, but it is what it is. So just trying to do some stuff. But you see all these little dudes are standing around here doing relay. But yeah, this game is incredibly addictive, so... Calling a geologist here to build a hunter, perhaps? You basically have to produce all the resources and everything you need. And your society kind of... You have a certain amount of stockpiled information and everything. The bird is a little annoying, yeah. It's lovely. It's a matter of resource management and resource game. These guys are now leveling it out. You got to find minerals to mine. Let's see, there's probably a button to turn on. There we go. Goes faster without that on, but it shows you where you can build things. But I'm building a forester, you know, someone who cuts down the wood. We need a sawmill, actually. Can we fit that here? We can. Perfect. Want to use the space if you can. So, sawmill produces planks. You know, you gotta do all this stuff before you run out of resources. Because if you run out of everything, you can't build anything anymore. So you have a certain amount of stockpile resources when you start, and then. And I love these games that have a little alien, or not alien, just a little ant farm. But alien ant farm, but just a little ant farm view. You can just look around, the little guys running around. It's all super fascinating. Got a lemmings situation on there. Welcome to Bird Simulator 2000. Nature, it's idyllic. Funny part, I never got that super far in this game because each map can last for hours as you're building resources, getting more and more advanced things. Eventually, you'll get things like y'all just come out. You have to build a freaking road up there. Send a geologist out. We don't have any. We don't have a geologist. I don't. There he is. I see. Fancy guy. He needs a road. Yeah, you just get stuck in like this is a one more turn kind of game. It's live. It's real time, of course, but you just need to build one more thing, and you know it's got that good city builder vibe to it. Little Lemmings esque looking at all these guys running around. We won't play that that long. I just want to see that it works, and clearly it works. But I am curious if we can, like I said, drag the whole folder from the CD onto the computer and just install it that way. Which still feels weird to me. Ooh, yeah, nice. Yeah, 1602, I had not played that at all, really. I know that, I think the series is incredibly popular in Germany. I think, Andy, if you're watching this afterwards, hi. I think were you the one who knew a lot about that series? I can't remember, but someone did. But the Anno series, or the 1602 and everything, I need to play that again, too. I actually bought a box copy of it, in anticipation of playing it, which I will someday. More, but else it's got that extremely addictive quality. Just one more thing. I'm just going to get this resource and do one more thing. And the Anno games are still going to this day, right? They're still making new ones. I think the series has always been very popular. So, have something to say. Coal found. All right. What's up? Yeah, so he's the prospector basically to see what resources are here, and usually find coal and iron and stuff like that. So you got to build mines to produce those resources. Above all, you need lumber and food and quarry and stone. Those are the core resources, basically. Some sort of food source, lumber, and stone. As you can see, this game can get real complex real fast. Yippee! Oh, you found some more resources. Iron found, all right. You can build iron mine, gold mines, granite mines. So yeah, I guess we're not going to stick around this very much. We have streamed this before, but again, this is a very, very addictive game. So I'd like to have it on here. It's the same era. It's that perfect era for this. And it's unfortunate that, like, when it comes to retro games now, it is harder for me to sit down with a retro game that's time-consuming. Because I play modern games, too. And I do like playing. I'm playing Starfield. I'm playing Crimson Desert. And if you're aware of those two games, those are multi-hundred-hour games, easily. And those are the ones I kind of enjoy when I just want to sit down and just, you know, play those big games. So I don't often play the big games on retro computers, that makes sense. I often sit down and play quicker games. It's become my preference or whatever. I might sit down with the Amiga. I'm just going to find an arcade game on the Amiga and play that, or a racing game or something. But I don't sit down and play, you know, I'm going to play Battle Isle, slow-moving strategy game, so. Yeah, my wife and I both played Baldur's Gate co-op for a long time on Xbox. We got to the chapter 3, we're in Baldur's Gate, and we kind of stalled out. Just life got in the way, but we played that co-op all the way until that point. And if you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 co-op, it is a freaking blast. It is super fun. I was playing a wizard, and she was a barbarian, and I think we used, like, telekinesis to knock her barbarian into the middle of enemies. And then, like a chainsaw, she started killing everything. Barbarians get, like, extra attacks when they kill something, so she would kill everything. Found something new there? Water. Ooh, cool. But yeah, Crimson Desert is... It feels like you're playing an open world RPG, and they're like, what if we did this? And they say, yes. Every single thing you imagine in an open world action RPG, that game freaking has. It's amazing how much they crammed into it, and it's just mind-numbing the amount of stuff they have in that game. So, all right, has everyone tired of that bird yet? So, oh, you can turn off. There's literally a bird button. Oh, you made the bird sad. It can't sing anymore. Wish you could do that in real life. Like, no more birds. There's a reason there's a dedicated bird button, in other words. That they were in playtesting, they realized that was very annoying. That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You keep finding So for those that haven't played it or whatever, think of Breath of the Wild or Zelda games like that are systems driven. They build the systems first. The physics. I'm gonna turn off all the sound effects actually, but all the physics driven things that you might expect, being able to light something on fire, putting it out with water. Crimson Desert is a game built on systems like that. So, like I mentioned there, uh, you can cut down a tree using like a freaking karate move that makes a push forward. You can also blow up trees so they disintegrate and pick up the resources. You can knock down trees and use like a force thing to pick them up and swat it at people. Like uh, there's so many things there. I was in jest a little bit to see how my wife would react. She has turned into a bird watcher in her advanced age, as we all do. Um, yeah, exactly. And there's fire attacks, and there's ice attacks, and it's just like everything you can imagine in an open world action RPG. Like think of an Assassin's Creed like Odyssey or Valhalla that has so much stuff, and then you cram in twice as much stuff. Like you can be able to carry animals, you can train pets and put them in armor. You can, there's different horses, there's the wyverns you can ride. There's tournaments you can do, and it's just everywhere you go in that game, there's something to do. And I followed the idea. People said, get to chapter 4, so you establish your camp before you start going running off and doing side quests. And I'm there now. So now I got to the point where I'm probably going to open up and just do random side quests. But the game gets all alive, too. Like, I saw someone on Reddit said that they robbed a bank by letting bees out in the bank. So they had a bag with bees. They went in the bank, let the bees out, and all the NPCs ran out because there were bees in there. And then they went ahead and then I just robbed the bank while everyone ran out. It's like, that's amazing. Like, emergent gameplay due to the systems. That was not scripted or designed. It was just that the NPCs run when there's bees around. Bring bees in there, they're going to like, holy crap, there's bees in the bank, run, Stuff like that. I love that. And you got that in Breath of the Wild a lot. Um, like, you could roll things down and hit enemies and like light them on fire and stuff like that, light the grass on fire and jump up. And I feel Crimson Desert is just jam packed full of those kind of systems. So I'm raving about a commercial product here now for some reason, but it is just, and it's like, for those that have seen it, it is a painfully beautiful game too. Like, painfully. It's like, it's so good. Okay, we have different sound effect channels. We got full settings on here, I guess. So we're running at 1024, are we? I'll say turn about 600, I think so. As you can tell, that is a very like kind of nitty gritty type of game. So running that at full, okay, I think we can just kind of install this. So let's do, gonna do a new folder. There's 2. We're gonna do this number. It's the unholy thing that you wouldn't dream of doing on PC, but see how big it is. Wow, that's weird. I think I would have much more space on this drive, but I guess not. I guess it's only a 2 gig drive, or even it's 1 gig available, so that probably acts as that, but I guess we'll leave it on the CD. It ran from the CD just fine, so, oh well. Crash that folder then. We'll deal with that later, so. Alright, so that's cool. I will now do this, and you won't be able to see it, but I will eject the CD. Ah, crazy Mac. But anyway, I love games that have emergent gameplay that come out from the systems within the game. And that's what always made, to me, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom so cool, because the things can just happen because of the systems. And in Crimson Desert, it is nothing but systems and ridiculousness. So I just get flabbergasted how big that game is, because you go up on a cliffside, and many of those games are open world, like, oh, you can go there. But that game takes that to the nth level. It is just so packed with stuff everywhere. Like, there's just things to do literally everywhere. And I'm just blown away by how detailed the game is. Yeah, it's just totally over the top. So, yeah, that's the thing too. I think I mentioned on like Blue Sky, the game looks like the games in my mind looked when I was a kid, right? It looks like, you can tell, we have said it for many years, like, oh, this looks like real life, but several of the like landscape pictures from Crimson Desert looks very realistic to me. Like the rendering they do for the distant objects. I think that maybe Pixel can pipe in here now, but they use like, I think, some sort of mega geometry, so that there's scaling of the geometry, I think, right? Or maybe I'm completely off base here now, but Like, for example, Unreal Engine 5 has a lot of that where it uses voxels to represent faraway objects, right? So instead of having like a billboard, like a flat thing that's in the far distance, like you would on Doom, you see like things sitting and moving around. Um, and in Crimson Desert, they have like scalable voxels, which makes the environment you're seeing very far back looks highly detailed for being so far away because it's scaling it and it actually has physics interaction to them. You see the tree swaying and everything, and they've patched that to make it even better. And it just looks amazing. We should probably try out Dark Forces because it runs at a better. Unless I already installed that. Did I install that? I did not. We need to install Dark Forces because that is a game that runs. Really? How? Oh, this is too much in the trash, maybe? No sense. I thought I had much more storage on this thing, so. Trash. Space do we got on this? 35 meg available? Really? We are running out of space? I had a gig on this thing. Something doesn't add up here now. 5 meg, that something's not quite right here. Capacity, 1 gigabyte, available 35, 987 meg on disk used already. What is using up all that space? There's a Hexen CD, that probably is taking quite a bit, if that's an ISO. 2 meg. This the... What is Q and bin file for Quake? That probably is eating up a lot of space too. There we go. 600 meg of space. That's like something was not right here, so. The modern real struggle there. 700 meg available. So yeah, I have to create a few more drives on here. There might be a way to make bigger drives. It might just be my inexperience with it, but I think I created these as 2 gig drives when I was messing with them. But let's take a look quick and see. What's the thing called? The FWB2. It's the 18 SCSI bus. It's not interesting. I'm trying to think of like drive management. It gets into here now where I'm not so used to Mac OS in general, right? So, attention manner, file exchange. Any way to manage just like drives and partitions and stuff like that. Maybe that's not something they have in the operating system directly. And Apple people feel free to, or Mac people feel free to pipe up here now where I would control or mess with disks if you can do that from within the operating system. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know that you can. Location manager, internet. Just a way to look at the disks and the partitions and everything, and maybe that's something you have to boot from something else. Yeah, there's no disk utility in there, but general information sharing. So I'm curious because this was set to 2 gigabytes, but maybe it's already activated, so you can't do anything with it. Maybe unless it's another application that's in here. Utilities. Drive setup light. That sounds promising. They're all initialized. And I was curious to see that as far as like space goes, I think they made them to already initialized, so it doesn't give me any information. Customize volumes. How much option? Initialize it. That's about it. Apple Extras. There we go. Oh my. Utilities in the Apple Extras folder. Does not exist. Yeah, I think the drive select light there was. I noticed someone's going to watch this afterwards who's a Mac expert just pulling their hair out right now. Um, and it might be a different loadout because this is the one that is with, let's say, the SuperMac version, right? So, but this is probably in the utilities here. That's what we're looking at. It's got to be a drive setup light because this is the one we're in here, but it only can initialize disks, but you can't look at the partitions or anything. I was curious to see just if they were able to have more than one partition per disk, because it seems to me ready to initialize it. What does it do when I initialize? Destroy custom setup. Oh, there we go. So here you can. I'm a little curious if I initialize this. It only sees one total capacity is 1 gig. So I'm pretty sure I created this as a 2 gig file. Maybe it can only see 2 gig or 1 gig files. So um, yeah, I won't mess with this now. If I want to create a new one, I can, but I just got to drag the Blue Scuzzy thing out and create a new file on there. So it's fine. We have a gig hard drive, which is still pretty beefy for the time. But you'd think, I mean, we had bigger hard drives than a gig around this era, so it must be supporting higher ones. So maybe I did something wrong when I partitioned or created a drive on the Blue Scuzzy. So that could very well be it. Applications. Yep, no utilities here as well. So again, it could be something to do with where the stuff is in the SuperMac. So hard disk toolkit. Probably to, oh goodness, this is like FP software. This looks promising here. Blue Scuzzy storage. Looks interesting here now. Initialize, mount, unmount, volume view. So ready and not ready. I don't know exactly what that means there. I was just curious to see if it showed any space being unused. And I'm not super comfortable doing it on an existing drive, at least before backing it up, because I don't want to break anything. But, and again, I can create additional drives, but it seems like we should be able to have bigger than, yeah, this capacity is 1 gig, so both of these are 1 gig. Blue Skies, of course. But yeah, I probably have to mess with, I have to figure out, we won't mess with that tonight, probably, because I have to take the case off to get to the SD card to mess with that. So, don't worry too much about that. Well, I thought it was pretty cool. I think it says the disk itself is one gig, right? So, and the initialize, when you pick the extended one, it still only showed 1 gig. It sees the disk as 1 gig. That is I thought at least I created a 2 gig file or a image file. I may have to just create a new one. So again, I have to open the computer and put it in my regular computer and create a new file. So I probably won't do that tonight, but I will mess with that because I would like to have just one bigger hard drive because, you know, gig, when you think back to it, wasn't a huge amount of space. back then, because computers definitely had hard drives bigger than a gig already by then. So that is to say, now let's try Dark Forces. Because the whole thing with the virtual hard drives is you can have unlimited storage, right? So now it shouldn't be a problem with these smaller games that are like, 10, 20, 30, 100 meg or whatever. It should be fine, but get into the CD-ROM, you drop an entire CD on there, it takes up most of the drive. Um, you mean Johnny Gong? Yeah, that's the thing too. You're messing. There's always something when you're doing a virtual drive, right? Versus a real spinning disk. And I think the real spinning disk is bigger. That's in here too. Um, so yeah, I'll mess with it. The nice part is if I take the SD card out, I can just make a backup. I can just drag the drives on that SD card to my computer, and I have a full backup. And then I can break it. I can mess with it. So that's the benefit there. And I probably will buy the Blue Scuzzy front panel thing that just launched today, because then I can put, like I showed earlier, so for those that are joining late, here's the actual computer we're playing on tonight. Because then I can put in the drive bay, and one of the ones, 525, probably print a bracket or whatever to hold it. I can put a drive selector there with an OLED on. It has a little display panel, and you can pick the image that is running and everything, and you can get the SD card directly from the front, and it's really convenient. Versus now, what's happening is that the can't see it right now because here, imagine the mouse is pointing on top of the image. The hard drive is sitting in the back of the case inside of it. So I'd have to like untangle and unplug and do stuff like that. I don't know if I feel like doing that tonight, but I will figure out a way to make it a bigger drive. So yep, exactly. D2 is not what I would consider on this machine. This is more of a D1 era, like in Diablo 1 on Mac. I assume it was, but I don't know. But yeah, D2 is one we have actually played on our G4 before. We actually streamed that years ago now, I guess, on the G4, 400 megahertz, I think. So, which is much more appropriate for Doom 2. I think we were messing around honestly back with then, in the rendering version of it too. So, call unstuffing. Oh, that's right. We got freaking disk images, and that's part of it. But yeah, again, the nice part is what I can do then, is if I can get the new drive basically created, I can just create a new drive, have the Mac see it. It's bigger. I can just drag everything over from the old drive, etc. So, um, yeah, I suppose I should. It's just I always get like when it comes to a tinkering stream, like I have, uh, I don't know. It depends on what I'm doing, right? Because sometimes I'm soldering or doing stuff like that. It gets real, iffy real fast on what I'm doing and messing with. Or recapping is one thing, but then if you're doing tinkering, there are stuff that I'd like to do, like get a machine reloaded or reset up or buttoned up. That's what I've been trying to do now lately. For the Amiga 1200, for example, I got a compact flash extender, so I can get to the compact flash card without opening the case. And after that, I can actually close the case. Now this Amiga is usable and is done. And then the same with this one. I did the Blue Scuzzy. I installed it inside the machine, closed the case, so now it's usable. So now, of course, I still have to crack it open again and do this stuff. But that's what I like to do, is to go through machines I have and set them up to be usable. Like I have a what's called the PicoMem for my IBM XT, and I only started messing with that. I'd like to stream at some point and just get that set up and finished and turnkey and ready to use, right? And that's going to be a lot of experimentation because I'm still learning how to do that stuff when you get into that old of hardware. But that may be fun to stream too sometimes. I know some of my most popular streams have been when I got these Macs networked. Like we fought for like hours and then finally got a network connection. Like, huzzah, we did it. Some of those are really popular. So, yeah, Warcraft 2 feels like it's perfect for this time period and everything. Because this is really like, you're dealing with Windows 95 era, right? It's late DOS, early Windows 95 for these machines. So, but since we have a virtual drive here, right, I want it to have, quote unquote, unlimited space. That's what we want out of this. So, I will probably buy that drive bay thingamajigger I forget what it's called now, front panel, whatever, so that I can much easier swap out, because then I can have an image that has OS 8.6, and I can also have a different image that has 7.2 on it just by taking the, you can basically, it gives you a front panel, you can select the image you're loading and just push a button and then restart, and it will load that hard drive instead, and that makes it really flexible and convenient, and also easy access to the SD card to pull it out right there too, because it basically puts the whole Blue SCSI device in a drive bay in the front of the case. So it is a 3.5 one though, so there's that part. I would have to commandeer an existing 5.25 to 3.5 that I have already, or 3D print something that would hold it. So, and I think I already have those, and you can buy those in many places, right? That convert a real one with metal that holds it properly, because the 3D prints are great. That's what's holding this drive right now. Is a PET-G printed Blue SCSI holder that's hooked into where the hard drive's held normally. So it is a sturdy one that holds it. But as soon as you're dealing with front panels, I don't know. You need some metal to hold it properly, I feel like, when you're doing that kind of stuff. So that is to say, in a long way around, yes, Kate, I should probably do a tinkering stream at some point. Those are really fun too. As long as you never know what you're going to get out of it, right? It could be something that gives great success, like we did with networking, or it could be one that we just had to like pack it in and said, it didn't get there. And that's the thing. I want to split on this, Revenant. We're talking about these ports and games that are very, to me, PC centric. Like we saw here with Doom, like it should in theory run better, right? Anything that's 100 megahertz or faster runs Doom very well. And here we're running, it's like, all right. But it seems like, yeah, that's true, it does. Like we were borderline. It was almost a Tinker stream there for a bit if we mess with the drives. It's a retro experience. But I'm also like split between checking out ports. Like in this case here, I'm curious because the Dark Forces port, which I actually guess I freaking have the CD for it. It's sitting right here, the box for it. But anyway, it runs better on this machine because it has a higher resolution. It's a newer version of Dark Forces. Those are interesting. But if it's a game that's just kind of a lesser counterpart of its PC version, is it as interesting? Is it more interesting to look at the Mac native games that were designed for Mac? And I have a few on the NAS I want to try out. Games that I'm sure people that had a Mac around this era played to death, but I have never heard of. There's quite a few of them, actually, that are Mac exclusive that are interesting to check out as well. So I kind of want a mixture of fascinating ports and also, yeah, Snood, I guess. That's a key one. And I want to, at some point, make a video on ports, the differences like that, because in this case, Dark Forces on PC and Mac are very interesting because they're, well, yeah, it runs at a high resolution on Mac and it's optimized for it. It runs well. Not all ports are, so that's what I'm curious too. For example, like Doom 1 we saw there. And I can't get the version of Doom 2 here to run. Maybe it runs now with the cache disabled, but every time I try and run it, it just crashes. So crashes the whole machine. So there might be something with that. So I'm split between checking out ports or native games. A little bit of both, I guess. So, and especially I'm looking at Duke 3D there on the NAS. That would be interesting as well. Because then we're getting into a heavier. Well, this ran Quake, so probably able to run Duke somehow. But it also depends on how good the port is, right? There's a lot of time. I think the Mac Play, right, was the one you saw, and you'd see often the same box for the game, except as Mac Play on half the box in the front, because that was the company that was porting them, right? So there was many different porters, and some were good, some were not so good. Also, we probably need to play Marathon because I put that as a game that was part of the stream, so it feels like it's mandatory a little bit. These are the Dark Forces disk image. I need to verify that. Just mount it, dang it. Right, installer. Just run it directly from the quote-unquote floppy. I guess you can. It's virtual anyway, so... Like, I realized that I'm sitting here doing this, and I have the freaking, like, CD and the box for it sitting right here on the floor. So, I'm not sure why I'm doing this version, but whatever. Demonetization in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Yeah, can you skip cutscene? There you go. Like, it's weird in the resolution it has. See what this comes out as here now. Yeah, we have no music because it's the flop. Never mind. And you... Oh, it's Command Plus. And this is actually a really good port. Like, it runs really well. And you get a better resolution than you would get on PC. So let's see. There was another option for... Aha. It's even the same controls as the PC. In general. There was a... let's see. Higher... Oh, yeah. We're going full power. Show me what you got. Still fully playable. You could not get this resolution in the DOS version, to my knowledge, so... Oh. Come here. Where's the auto aim? They're running at... it's running really bright. That's the weird part about this. It feels like the brightness is out of whack, or maybe that's just the machine in general. A lot of these sections are pretty dark in the... Auto aim at. We have streamed this game too, including the creepiest thing ever when you run into the Dark Trooper skeleton thing. Creeped me out as a kid. A great game, except the sewer level. Everyone hates the sewer level. It's terrible. I'm already stuck here now. No, I'm not a musician in any way, shape, or form. Let's see, brighter and darker, so... There we go. No. I don't know, it's just, it seems like artificially forced brightness thing going on there. Oh, there's secrets in here. Oops. Oh, come on. I totally jumped that. Game? But no, I'm not musically gifted really at all, so I have not really... Well, the textures look the same. I have not really messed with music production or programs or anything like that, so even though that would be really cool, that's not something I'll be able to do. I am not... musically production inclined, as it were. Blast him. What if we go to the lowest? So that's Shift S. Low resolution, reduce texture resolution. All right. Got 120 FPS here going, whatever this is. Now that is smooth. Awful, but it's smooth. Alright, that's pretty terrible, though. So low resolution double what it had before then when we started, so... Oh, so it's line doubling it to make it bigger, basically. Which is a fine way to play it, but the high resolution is pretty cool option. That's something you would get on PC, right? And that's a dramatic improvement in picture quality. Good evening, welcome. Death Star plans. There's no stopping me. Yeah, so this is like, you look at this is a well-optimized port that runs great on the system and, you know, runs as well as runs very well as you'd expect it, sort of. Like, the performance seems to make sense here, but I think that's all down to porting and how they use the system, right? So
This is too easy. Now to get to my ship.
I just remember buying... I still have my box copy here of Dark Forces, right? Playing this through, it's like, oh my god, we're in Star Wars. It just blew my little mind at the time that you could be in the Star Wars universe. Just before, we had Star Wars games out the wazoo, so... Yep, no problem. People can come in and drop out, whatever they want to do, so no problem with me. Just hanging out. Extra life here, but if you... I can get that without falling. You have to go to end mission now. Next mission, yeah. Weird.
Kyle delivers the plans to the
Cutscenes and everything. I always love the Super Star Destroyers because they are just beyond ridiculous. Like, the Star Destroyer is like a kilometer long or something ridiculous, and the Super Star Destroyers are like absurdly long.
The Emperor has approved your test demonstration, General.
This was a glorious era of Star Wars games. You have this TIE Fighter, just, yeah, Rebel Assault, and, yeah, alright. Well, we see in this, it was not, I wouldn't play this too long, but I want to kind of check out some of the more not ported games, but clearly it runs very well, so probably just copy this whole folder into, can we do this? Okay, it's copying it, yeah. It's copying it to Drive now, so, and it's still, like, just, it seems so weird to drag a folder or files over, and now you move the game. You installed it, quote unquote. Versus on Windows, it's going to put its little hooks into everything. To the point where I spent a lot of time when I was messing with my computers back in the day, trying to, like, uninstall something that went wrong, like trying to get rid of a game or software or drivers. Everyone who's messed with that knows that it's just painful. Yeah, speaking of music production too, I know Atari ST was the one used a lot, like Cubase and stuff like that, got to start there, because it has MIDI ports built in. And if I was more musically inclined, that would be awesome to do retro music like that, but no. I think more on Kate's side, I would say. Very talented musician. I am not. Alright, I think we can now delete these, because we did not need them. Up some space. We're kind of spoiled now with how it is with hard drive space, right? Like, yes, within reason, because some games are ludicrously huge, but in many cases, we don't have to worry too much about space, right? So, kind of get spoiled now, and I can just do whatever. Get Snood installed. Seems like that's a priority here. I'm not sure if that is a our PC version. SimCity 2000 has to be in here, of course. Copy Snood over. I know, like, sensory overload, we have, yeah, SimCity 2000. There's a few other ones that I think are interesting to try as well. Extract it. And I can't remember, Snood is one that's been around for a long time, right? Or it was on a lot of different Macs. I was only aware of it afterwards, as Kate said that she played it a lot on, was it school computers? I can't remember now. But it's not one that I played really at all. Until no, there it is. I can find Snood. Please. Okay, that's all out. Basically, like a Puzzle Bobble. Or what's the other name of that? I can't remember now. Oh. There's too many different, like, things here. Bank shot. we're gonna have a bad time here soon. Having very good luck here, but they need some more those guys. There we go. Oh. Yeah, not doing so hot here. Still in the game. Still in it. I'm expecting it to like fall down, but it does not. That's probably some like trick here I'm not aware of or something. Oh, man. Ow. That's one of those games that is like, yeah, you could just that I assume. Oh, it's medium. You change the difficulty. Easy child. All right. So it's a journey. Journey, huh? Yeah, that's what I figured. It's like it seemed like it was a little wonky on that side, but it is Puzzle Bobble in that sense, right? Or what's the? There's another name for that game, but oh, there we go. Probably better to start with easy. It's actually clearable at that point. Yeah, exactly. It's very simplistic, but then you're like, I just need to play a little more, especially if that's what you had access to, right? I remember what we played in computer lab. We had IBM PCs. Was Gorilla.Bass. It's trucking bananas at monkeys, or monkeys tricking bananas at each other was kind of what we had to mess with. So. All right, there we go. Now we're cooking here. I get it, sort of. I should probably load the Mac up with this too, huh? So you can come and play Snood whenever you want, the other Mac. It really is. It just, again, it's like one of those simple ideas, right? It just gets stuck with you. I'm sure for everyone who's played this to death when they were younger, the sound effects are making you reminisce, I'm gonna guess. And it's also why, oh, I'm forgetting, was it Astroblast, or was it the one we used to play on Xbox Live? I forget the name now. It's, sort of similar in the sense that you were racking up blocks to make them fall and everything. I'm forgetting the name. I don't think it was Astroblast. Astropop. There we go. Thank you. Just getting the... Oh, I can't believe I missed that one. So now it's just luck of the draw if we... Get all of them? Hurrah! Cleared. Whew. Alright, well, there we go. I see why the addiction is high on this one, because you just want to, like, one more time, and harder and harder, and, wow. I suppose, yeah, I should have. Settings. I should have, I suppose. It is the, just one more game. We'll get score verification code. I see why the addiction level is high on Snood there, when everyone talks about it, so. There was one in particular I wanted to check out, that Shadow Reef. I always found the window management to be really odd on the Mac of this era. Like, it feels like the windows are like oddly moved around. And I mean, the Amiga had some like awesome multitasking and window management, but also a little wonky at times. It was weird to move things around a lot of time. Shadow Wraith apparently is like a labyrinth kind of game. I really need to buy a joystick for this because it uses the Mac ADB port or whatever for the keyboard, and the mouse is connected to the keyboard here and everything. But I need to get a joystick for this, I think, so I don't have any. It would be good to have that, as it were. But this is a game I see often showing up. I think this is a Mac exclusive, honestly. It's like a top-down sci-fi puzzle / labyrinth kind of game. And again, I know people that might be watching this afterwards or are Mac aficionados from this era are just going to be screaming at me like, you know, this is the way it is or this is whatever. But I'm still a noob. Because there were so many games that were made for the Mac exclusively that just were not ported to anything else. Now, clearly, we tried a lot of ports that were on other platforms, PC above all, but this one is, I think, Mac exclusive. So those are the ones I find are interesting or neat. The same way that, like, you know, if you have a game system that's like, if there's an interesting port difference, like Aladdin on the Genesis versus the Super Nintendo, different games. Fascinating in their own right, both really good games, but I think Lion King is identical between the two. I just realized that the spec box there is just totally going out into the only to deal with the high quality stuff here. The spec box is going out into chat, so oh well. Kind of jank you get here. Although that might be bugging me here. We're gonna do this. Better? There. That was bugging me. Anyway. Neither here nor there. But we'll see. I don't know exactly what this game is, but I saw it listed several times. I need to have a serial number. Oh, can't do that. Can I copy paste this here? Come on. So the window is... yeah, we did actually on the last week, so we can try it again, but we ran Quake on this one. Yes, I can. Crit Finder as well? Man, I just...
Bioclone systems activated.
Hi, sorry. That's a little Metroidy there. That's a lot of exposition. It's a lot of exposition. You're Alex Kendall, risen from an earthly grave with a heart and mind burning for vengeance. Got it. Ooh, yeah, the 90s wants their dance music back here. This is great.
Welcome to Cybernet.
Okay, I guess we'll try this game. See, please.
Entering cyberspace matrix.
You dial down the sultriness a little bit there. How do you, let's see, what's the help?
Three, two, one.
It's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. You got physics going on there when you're shooting. A booster. Oh, we're in cyberspace. See, there's like... This is fantastic, honestly. The Amiga-style music here going on. Hard to aim, though. I've seen this listed many times as like... a, like... really good game. Boink doesn't take... Oh, that's actually amazing. You can just bounce and doesn't take you any shield integrity. So how to use grenades? Option, okay. Did that open something? That's the red one. Yeah, it's a mazed shmup adventure top-down thing. It's actually right up my alley, honestly. But now I'm already stuck, so... Worst game ever. No. Well, I don't know where to go. Blew myself up a little bit there. I recharge or anything? No. Well, I'm really enjoying it until I get stuck. Trying to open the doors? That did nothing. Great game. I really like the vibe it's putting off and everything. It's got a very Amiga-esque style to it, but I don't know if I have special ability or something. Different guns. I don't have any more yet. Trying different key combinations here to see if there's anything else that... Hmm. I feel like there's either an ability I'm missing or something that you need to... Huh. I guess I wasn't expecting to just get completely stuck on the first, like, screen. Way out there. Something I need to shoot somewhere to open things up? There's little monster closet, I think, right? Yep. This is the reason why I don't play like Myst or whatever, because I would indubitably get stuck like forever. I feel like I'm just missing something very obvious. Open up! Let me in! I think that's a red thing that opens red doors, but I got like a blue thing, but... Huh. Am I missing something? Someone unwell see anything? I tried that, I think. Try again. These. I feel like I'm missing something incredibly obvious here. Unless I managed to soft lock myself in the... I picked up the blue thing. I figured it would be a blue door somewhere, but there in fact is not. We can strafe too. It's like a 2D descent. Well, cyberspace was amazing. I do like that you don't take damage as you're flinging around, because that would be really annoying pretty quickly. Huh. Go through here. Second. Yeah, I'm a little stumped here. I'm gonna maybe start over the game and see if I missed something really obvious. Let's go to very easy, why not?
Entering cyberspace matrix. Ammunition supply critical.
So that is a lock there. Probably until I pick this up here. Now this is closed. I'm so confused now. This was... Oh, no, I'm really dumb. Figured it out. You gotta go up to a door and press space to open it, like it's a Doom game. Good lord. That would do it. So you do this.
Cyan key. Cyan key.
I need Cyan key. I don't have the right key here. But that's what you do. You ride up to it and press space to open door. Like literally keyed. The broader weapon, like a spread shot. This was very easy. I don't take much damage, so.
Green key.
Have the right key. We can use the controls here.
Green key.
Cyberspace is confusing, yo. I feel someone who's good at this game can just fly through this stuff like nothing.
Red key.
I don't have red key. I know where it is, though. Sort of. When I get to the second level, I feel like that's should be enough to like say I did something in this game. But I very much appreciate that you don't take damage hitting walls, because that would make this game so infuriatingly difficult. Who knew this is what the inside of a computer looked like? I think so. Cyberspace, right? Oh, this is nothing here. Oh, look at that. Secrets. It's the health pickups and shield. I just want to see if there's a different music on next level, because if it's repetitive and the same one, the track would get a little old, but... Well, this is a really cool game. This is the sort of thing that I kind of want to find and explore on the Mac that I may not be aware about or familiar, but turn up a little bit. Where'd it been here? That key. I do now.
Red key.
Ooh, I got the Soul Cannon. More ammo. I'd be curious to watch like a speed run of this game or something. People just flying through here like nothing, probably. Oh, I do have red key now.
Blue key.
Blue key. No indication on the door what it opens.
Cyan key.
Where did I miss now? Been here. Now we're back to the maze-like problem here again. Did I go down here? I know it was down here, but I don't remember if Galpa was down. Did not. I'm glad I'm playing on very easy, because I don't think much damage, but I can imagine some very hard would be very hard.
Blue key.
Blue key. That's incredibly Amiga-like, but also, you know, you get the cool, like, resolution boost in running at this higher resolution. But I'm pretty sure this is, in fact, a Mac exclusive. Could be wrong, but I don't think this is on Windows or DOS or whatever. This is the exact type of game. It feels like a shareware game kind of thing you get stuck into, like the first few levels. This is the exact type of game I would spend a lot of time on.
Cyan key.
Cyan key.
Cyan key.
Can I go through here now, finally? Yes. Exit.
Exiting cyberspace
Huzzah.
matrix.
I got everything, I think. Performance ratio, 0.4... I don't know exactly what that means, but, big game.
Entering cyberspace.
This continues, or we get a new music track now? Ooh. Thank you. Very, me-esque, all this. Map and everything. Monster closets and everything.
Red key.
Could reduce the sultriness of that announcer voice a little bit, perhaps, but just you go flying. That's pretty funny, actually. Dead end. Cool idea for a game and cool execution too, honestly. Like, they're using the 2D thing to its strengths, right? And not just feels like a 3D. I mean, it really plays like a Descent sort of, except in 2D is probably the best way to describe it. Like the ship, maybe the ship should be a little slower, but feels really high production quality. On here, except resources. It's a secret. Better check it. Nope. I see anyway why this is, seems like it's on, I wouldn't say top list or anything, but I see it mentioned quite a bit. Shadow Wraith is the game, by the way. If you didn't see that earlier, but I see it mentioned quite a bit as a,
Green key.
that looks bad. Interesting down here. I said it's got to be secret here. There was. Boing. Sources, I guess. It's what kind of a spread shot of some kind. Boing.
Green key.
This. Okay. Proximity mine. I prefer the more grenade there. I don't remember where everything is because of this little. Oh. Okay, cool. Well, that was nice. Probably a puzzle there or something, and I just didn't do it. Because that's the thing, it's like on a machine like this, it's interesting to push it really far and play games that, you know, like Quake and stuff that are, you know, stretching it what it would.
Cyan key.
Where does it show the color of the key? I don't.
Blue key.
But it's also fun to experiment with games like this that were like, designed for the hardware. This is era appropriate and everything. Runs great on this machine. Is the monster closet or anything in here? Come on, come on. Can't even get in there. Oh well.
Cyan key.
Cyan key. A lot of teleports here. Maps are getting a little confusing now.
Blue key.
Oh, it's all gonna open, aren't they? Yep. Yeah, the one thing that is the controls are really floaty. Like, you see how much you move around. I guess the momentum is almost a big, like, I don't know, selling point, I wouldn't say, but like the core mechanic of the game, and it's a little difficult to control the ship. They give you quite a bit of resources, at least. Don't remember where to go now. I have all the keys, so... Oh. Yeah.
Exiting cyberspace matrix.
Think cyberspace matrix.
Entering cyberspace
I was want to hear next music, and then we'll
matrix.
go to another game or something, but... Yeah, it's a cool game. Like, again, it's unique in that sense. I can't think of another game that would be equivalent to this kind of thing. Because there's plenty of top-down shooters, maze games, but this, like, takes all that and mushes it together into, like, a... action arcade, maze, fighting game, something like that. It made sense in my head before I started talking. Good game. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I don't know, because you're right, this is very shareware-like, right? But I don't know if there was newer versions or spiritual successors. I know that kind of happens quite a bit, right? It's just something that's similar. Let's see, which one was I thinking of? Probably need to play a little marathon, I think, because it was on the thing. I have a scroll wheel. Have a marathon on here? The ISO for marathon 2. It's marathon 2. The sit file is probably better than the ISO, although the ISO is only 80 megs, so yeah, we can probably copy that over here and mount it. Not that big. But yeah, I need to figure out the sizing on the hard drive because I want to have unlimited space to install lots of games. That's kind of what I wanted to do with this one, was to load it up and everything. I actually have... I realized I have the box for... I can have the box for one, the Marathon Infinity, I think. Closing off on the file day. But yeah, this is the Marathon. Let's see, switch to the big camera here. This is Marathon Infinity. It's in a triangular box, but very shiny. But it has a sticker up here that says accelerated for our Macintosh. So this is probably one we should try. It's specifically designed for this type of machine. Let's see what it says for specs. There we go. So it needs a 6840 or faster Macintosh computer or compatible. Yeah, System 7 or later, 4 megabytes of RAM, CD-ROM drive, accelerator for Power Macintosh, supports local talk and Ethernet, 2-user network license included. Yeah. Yeah, this one I actually got at VCF Midwest. It was towards the end of one of the shows. Then I was kind of walking around, like you're kind of, out of things to do. This is before they moved to the current venue. And I had already spent a lot of money and stuff like that. But then around the corner, someone had just a whole bunch of Mac stuff sitting around. And that's where I got like boxed Alice, Sacrifice, Heavy Metal FAKK, as they call it too. And this, and the Mac Radeon 900 Pro and stuff like that. And he was just starting to get rid of it. And I'm like, yes, please. So I took a lot of that stuff. I think some people got a little jealous of that fine, but it was just like, got to be the right person at the right time, right? So let's try Marathon 2, then we'll try Marathon Infinity here because the box is too radical to not. So mount that. So that's the thing. Is we're exploring this. This is where I just love this kind of stuff because you're finding. Fine, we have drop that. CD-ROM utility. On the Marathon small install. Do that. I would just copy that. This is the okay. So this you just copied this folder. Again, it just throws me off so much installing it. Let's see. We need to close this. This. We'll just copy this to here. So I install the game, and it's just again, it just throws me off every time. But I don't know. It's just really fun to explore platforms that you don't have much experience with, because you never know what you're kind of gonna find. And it's just neat to see stuff that you're not that familiar with. And that's why I've gotten more and more into this Mac OS era and everything, because a lot of people this is their retro thing that they love the most, and the same way that I probably have for Windows 95 and things like that. But it's always fun to see new stuff. That's why don't ever read this, no matter what anyone tells you. Okay, we're gonna read it. If you have a Power Macintosh, Sound Manager 3.0 will make a Marathon run 2 to 3 times faster in your system. Huh. Sound Manager, how do I see? Probably have that already, I'm gonna guess. Quit. Crash it. Crash that. Now we should have Marathon. Ah. I think I have the serial number here. I mean, my legitimate copy here. Perhaps I should not have been so hasty in doing the CD there. It's just a zip file for the... Fine, we'll do that then. Trying to be fancy, and just shot myself in the foot being fancy. Same name. I'm curious it's going to launch then, if that's a fixed copy, as it were, or just another exact same folder. So, and you look at this, like, I copied a whole bunch of stuff. I actually have one more CD I'm going to try and install here soon too, and we're going to try the Marathon Infinity as well. Marathon, whatever. And just, I mean, there's hundreds, probably thousands of games here, right, available to play on a system like this that are some are ports, some are unique, some are for the system only. There's so many to pick from and mess with that. How do you find the good ones? You can read about top lists and best of and everything. But I find it hard to find games for this particular era. Like, yes, that these are like a Dark Forces, Doom, Diablo, stuff like that. That's for this era. But when you look at PowerPC, it stretches from these. Um, yep, we played that earlier. It stretches from like mid 90s, if not early 90s, all the way to the PowerPC Max, for all the way up to Intel. So if you look for PowerPC and search for games for that, you're going to find Quake 3 in the same breath. The same way you would. It's different versus you say like I'm going to look for Pentium 1 games or Voodoo 1 games. Like you can find a specific narrowed scope of that. When you look at the PowerPC platform and everything, it was such a huge breadth of it. Yes, you can find more if you're looking specifically, but I want to find like games that are running well on this type of machine. You're going to find just a massive amount of different games that might run well or not, even though they're compatible. And I find it harder to locate when you're searching for specific things for this. I can help narrow it down a little bit with the Mac OS version, same way with Windows 95, Windows 98, but being someone who's not as knowledgeable in the platform makes it a little tricky. Well, while you guys watch pen dry, meaning and then packing happening, I'm gonna we'll get a soda, hit the restroom real quick. Be right back. Your favorite like pause music if you'd like. Ah, yes, aspartame. It's what the body craves, or plants crave, or something. There we go. But yeah, I've come to realize that it makes it almost feel like bad when you're just tinkering with a system. But I realize how much I enjoy that, and loading up a computer and getting it ready to use is almost as fun for me as like actually using it. Getting a turnkey, installing the game software, setting it up, and everything. Even if I don't end up using it right away, I enjoy doing that um, all the way through. It's just a fun exercise for me. So let's see if it launches now. Out of memory. Ooh. Probably the network thing. So might so let's I get a feeling that we have just built up too much memory junk here now over the times. Let's restart the machine. Because who knows, memory leak. Interrupt a dong there, ding, whatever you want to call it. Um, I got a feeling that that's one of the things that I heard about, I guess, with Mac OS, like the older versions, is to have a lot of memory leaks or applications aren't closing cleanly, and then over time you get kind of that thing happening. So we'll see if we get more memory available now. Um, Because this machine is definitely way beyond what Marathon 2 would be, or like more than enough in that range for this, right? So, yeah, I don't think that's our vice as if we're here. There's always soda in this house. We are very addicted to the Diet Pepsi, so there's always some of that around here. Not sponsored. Pepsi, if you want to sponsor me, give me a ring. Yeah, I feel that it's one of those like I mean, you can run into that with Windows 95 and 98 as well. Although again, I feel 98 SE is really solid. So, um, sorry, just price of being an American. So, if I'm gonna have a chemical dependency, I guess aspartame and caffeine is not that bad. Beep. We should check out. Let's try Marathon too. Then we'll poke around a little bit on the Umax stuff too. We've just been doing games here now, but there's some software, of course, too. Let's see, memory. Yeah, there we go. We set a reboot. So I just remember talking to friends who were Mac people, and it's always just like, well, yeah, you got Doom, we got Marathon, it's even better, and it's like the best thing ever, and thousands of colors. Bungie, free Halo fame. Well, I mean, there were Voodoo versions, unless you mean something else, but like you could get the, oh, that's true, nobody cool, yeah. You could get Voodoo cards right for Max, right? Look at that, edgy. He's holding his spine. That's when I point out that the spine should be in the body. That's not normal.
Let's go! See you, Starside. We're clear.
The use key. Are fine. I'll just go around shooting things. It's funny because this has memories now. I think we've tried this game many times before. Now really need to use key. Yeah, I know. It's Marathon. That's the thing too. I remember like it was hyped up a lot. It's a cool game, etc., etc. Tab. Also, that new Marathon working out for Bungie. And this is running with like, high resolution and everything, so it was cool. It was like always just portrayed as the Doom equivalent, right, of the save stations. Where's my double magnum here? Sci-fi. I always think like it's late 90s, or so this is 1995, and we are, if you fast forward just a few years, like Halo came out 6 years later. Just the amazing the difference. I know that, going from raycasting engines and 2.5D engines to full 3D engines was, a big leap in everything, but it's crazy how fast that went and moved um, in the years there. Ow. Don't zap me, bro. The like models and texture stuff feels like, but it's also the thing that made Doom so good was just the speed, right? This game is felt like middling, kind of like kind of walking around. Is there on the ground there I can take a gun there. I like the gun, but I cannot pick it up. Oh yeah, nothing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you know, they didn't want to make a, a fast-paced action shooter in the same way that Doom was trying to be, right? So
Over there. Right. Ah! See you, Starside.
bye. Done helping you. I'm definitely going to try Infinity after this and see the pinnacle of the Marathon series, I believe, or the last one at least. Until now. Well. Shadows and everything, too. But I mean, if you think about it, if you had a Mac, this was supposed to be one of the killer apps or whatever, or like the unique one for that's looking, controls are a little wonky. Again, before they were like established that this is how the laser gun there. I'll take that. Don't die in the process. Who brings a spear to a gunfight? Just saying. Magnum, or sorry, the assault rifle here. Assault rifle grenade launcher. Props for the casing sound as they fall, but the animation a little disappointing. I remember seeing this in magazines and stuff like it. It looked pretty good on screenshots and everything. So I had that going for it. So it's controlled there if the ammo wasting is not that good, or like he's just spraying the bullets everywhere. Oh, I'm gonna drown here because I don't know how to swim. Oh, there we go. I think again, it's like playing this, and you played Doom and stuff like that. Doom is awesome, but then you played Duke 3D, and it was like we try that as well. Then it was like, hey, we're playing a game that looks like it's set in a real world, and that's what made a difference to me, at least. Like you have, movie theaters and stores and streets and stuff like that. And how to look at this size, yeah. Oh yeah, low resolution, tiny window. How do you quit out of this? Don't know how to quit. And we played boomer shooters before. There's actually several I would play again or play through here now. I picked up Sulaco recently. It's a really cool one. I bought like a boomer bundle, but we have definitely done modern boomers before. I like to play them one at a time, like we did. Command Q, thank you. We did. I was gonna say, forgetting things now. We did Ion Fury, right? We got pretty far with that one. That one's really cool. So we played boomer shooters, and we played Bolt Gun as well. I do like playing those. And we played Proteus as well. We definitely have played modern boomer shooters, and I want to continue that as well. We haven't done that in a while, so maybe that's on dock for next week or something. So that was Marathon. Sweet. It works. Delete that. Let's take a look at a little bit of the utilities that were included in the SuperMac extras before we go into installing Marathon Infinity and see how that is. SuperMac extras are just some utilities that come with it. So, for example, things that you might really need: CD-ROM toolkit, virtual CD-ROM, stuffed expander, unpacking thing, desktop pictures, Umax desktop pictures. Wow. Right on it. Desktop pattern scrapbook. Oh, that's right. So you can do looking at the different things that are included for tiling, I believe, here, because that's the background we have tiled, right? So here are all the default ones that are included with Mac OS. Pretty funky. I know it's not very colorful right now, but it is also kind of like, I don't know, appropriate for the era, as it were. So let's see. We can change that. Yeah, goodness. You can get so many games now for pittance, especially on GOG when you're want a portable game, if you will, that's not tied to a particular platform or licensing or anything like that. So, monitors and sound, I can't. Color. No. A lot of this probably is very easy, but I just can't remember everything is. So. Nope. I was looking for the desktop settings, changing out the appearance. There it is. Course appearance. And I run with a very default theme and font, if you will, because you know, you can of course go haywire with a whole bunch of different ones, but the appropriate one, as the word that comes with it, feels the most, again, appropriate, just because it is, but... Problem with some of these are more the ones you would associate with this era of Mac will be the Azul Dark, I think, is probably the most default one, but... Let's see, I think there was, if we go SuperMac HD... yeah, true, you want to support them. I mean, I've used that for several times with buying games for like Umax XP or something, and it actually is usable for the stream and stuff like that. Or if I just want to have a quote-unquote license for the game or something like that. SuperMac extras. Mac goodies. Fancy. Nice. This pattern might be covered. Yeah, that's fine. And just not have a pattern then if I have a picture. Art trips. Yeah, that's the thing. This ooh, there we go. Now we're talking. Look at the color. Umax Computer Corporation. All right. Look at the numbers it's crunching here. Look, it can count to 160, 180, 250 even, 300. Little ants on the screen. That's a little annoying, but it's amazing what the color difference, just having a little splash of color there. Let's see if we can install, if I can open this box, because this box has just seen better days because of its really difficult design. Now that's a manual compared to the CD size here. A lot of story there. I have a few original games there. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with the ants there. We can also try and switch to the other that was in the background there, but I like this color more. But come on, load it. You can do it. Yeah, I figured this is just like icons here, right? I think we can just run it from the CD. Mm-hmm. From the back of the manual or the game box. Okay. I have the original box here, so back of your manual. Oh, there's the serial number. Wah, wah. This is actually a copy I own, so I'm going to be a little more secure with this one. It's pretty funny that part of the serial number actually has the word tuna in there. I'll take that for what you will. All right, let's see if the game holds up more to the music that it's trying to promise here. Seems familiar. It is very Mortal Kombat. Marathon him. I feel like I probably should reboot it to free more memory. That's weird. Ahead. Just arms and a thing. Sure. That's normal. That's a normal thing to do. Show me the accelerated for solutions. A little wonky. 640 by 480. Yeah, that's alright. Seems very similar here. We got a little system shock I just woke up on. Did they change the button? There we go. Open something there. Well, it seems accelerated for because it runs really well, honestly, so. Otherwise, it seems very similar as a game. Ow. I think he did finish me. Well, died 2 seconds into the first level. Sweet! Just ran off. Can I... forget to do anything? Cool. Alright, one more time, maybe. That was a prologue, too. Man. Didn't hold back. The resolution settings aren't quite right for the capture right now, but I'm too lazy to fix it, so I don't think anyone really cares. They're a little off there, as you can see, but whatever. It definitely runs, feels like it runs smoother. are there? Out of ammo. Out of spells, but not out of shells. Ooh. Don't know how to jump, so... Save thing, I assume. Yep. Oh, we don't have to save because it's running off the CD. Yeah, it feels like it's a, you know, we're on a ship or something and woke up as last survivor kind of thing. Only want to play System Shock 2. Which we have streamed before, and that is a really good game. Creepy as hell, but... I have not played the Night Dive version of that. Actually, something that might be interesting is to play one of these modern remake things, like, thought of playing Power Slave, for example. I know that, Night Dive Studios did a great job remastering that to put the... What was this thing? So... What's on all the garbage compactors? To put all the best parts of the different versions into one game. Same way that we can maybe, like, stream the System Shock remake, which is, you know... No idea what's going on here. No dig against Marathon, I'm just really confused. Yeah. Like, the System Shock remake is very faithful to the original game. And I played it some, but it plays really well, so we should probably play that sometime. I was trying to run, and it made me look. Oh. Props for having, like, a little, aliens motion detector there, though. Nice touch. Yeah. Anyway, that's Marathon. Nothing against it, but, seeing what we need to see there now. I did want to check out how the port of Duke 3D runs on this, because I'm not sure if... I mean, it's the same era, right? So this is 1996, so it's very much the same era when Duke 3D was in 96. I'm not sure when the port was for, say, for Mac, but... That's the thing, you could play, you know, mess around with these games all night, and you don't need to scratch the surface of what the amount of games that are available, because it's an entire platform, and I think games are... Well, G for Duke 3D. Oh, it's for Mac OS X, so never mind. I don't think we can use that one. I have to find a different version, so never mind. Not for this one. And that is a version for OS X, so I think I was messing with our testing, so that's not going to work. Empties the trash. And eject. It just never gets old. I was not aware, when you pop a CD into the trash can, it ejects it from... I did want to try and see how this plays. This is Heroes of Might and Magic, the first one for Mac. I was trying random games now, but of course I'm trying ports now, like we discussed earlier. Or, sorry, I was discussing. You guys were listening because you don't have no choice. Here's a MM installer. The ports of these games that are, you know, to me very DOS-centric or Windows-centric or whatever. Some of them are probably really good, like we saw with oh boy, Dark Forces. Like, right, that's a really good port. It's a well-made one. Enhances, but it also came out after the first game, or not the first, but it came out after the game. Yes, it's a case of many ports, but sometimes they're probably just pretty cash grabs, or the people that are porting them may not be familiar with the strengths of each platform, like to write for each processor, right? The same way you look at the Saturn and PlayStation, right? Some games were really good on the Saturn if they knew how to use the double video processors and everything. But the PlayStation was much easier to develop for, so they can get better games in general out of it. So, same thing, right? I know the PowerPC platform probably was not quite as easy to write for those bigger games. I'm just guessing maybe, but that feels like that was the case. So, it's a very menacing thing there. Where did that go? Yep, drop it into games. I do love Heroes of Might and Magic 2, so I was just curious to see this one here. I'm a little curious to see how it is, because this is a DOS game, I think, on PC. And maybe it was on Windows as well. I'm not sure if anyone can correct me, but I'm pretty sure it's a DOS game. Lion Entertainment, so they did saw them doing the port for Doom earlier, right? So... I love the sharpness of the graphics you get here. It's 800 by 600, so... $19.95. Flickering is driving me crazy there. Why? Flickering be gone. There we go. So you got some options. All the settings on. Yeah, this should be a pretty powerful machine for this. There we go. Let's stack the thing in my favor a little bit here. These games, I know we streamed Heroes of Might and Magic 3, I think. And it's funny, I realized I don't think I've ever played Heroes of Might and Magic 1, because I got hooked completely on Heroes. Oh, it's going to crash. Oh, there you go. Wow, took a while. Interesting. I'm not sure if something to do with the configuration I have or something, but it seems to be very, very slow. Frag hack the barbarian. Build something in our city. Anyone's played Heroes of Might and Magic? It's a top-down strategy, fantasy, army building game, whatever. Honestly, I need to play one more, I think, because the graphics are very charming. You build things for your city. Okay. Thieves Guild, we'll get the well. And sound effects. Need to get more army. Yeah, it's really sluggish to load. It's interesting. Could be the port, but it also has, again, it's got very charming graphics. I was curious to see how it looks on. I got my army. How it looks on DOS. Might run a high resolution mode for DOS, but not a high resolution, but relatively high resolution, that is to say. Yeah, it's a top-down strategy game where you run around, pick up resources, you fight in battle, stuff like that. You level up your heroes. It's incredibly addicting. Once you get rolling, you just one more turn. I mean, it's turn-based, so money or experience? Take the experience. I'm curious why it's running so slow. It's just every action here is taking forever to load. I'm not sure if, again, if that's the processor. Maybe we need to reboot the machine first. Who knows, but I won't play that long. I was just curious to see how well it ran. I did install it to the hard drive, but pack of rogues leap up the bushes to guard their stolen loot. Oh, now we're getting to fight. So we get to see a combat at least before calling that game. Where's my hex grid? No options in the game, okay. Oh. Why not win this fight? There have been spells. Nope. Go on, Wolf. Wolf, tank it. Oh. Well, this is a good start. If the archer could keep fighting long distance... Oh, yeah, we're not... It's a great start to the game. These games are always been just really brutal, too, in their difficulty. If you don't get it going in the beginning with a good army. So you get to see me fail immediately here in the... I was curious if there was any benefit to playing... if there's any benefit to playing this on Mac. Apparently not, because I suck at it, so... Anyway, let's hear some automatic, so... I'll try it again, but... It's important to load up the computer with games you have as an option, but it just feels like really sluggish there. But again, it could be the port. I don't know. Maybe that's just expected load times on the game. But... Crash that. Got some games loaded up now, so let's see what else we got. We got a lot of the kind of like games that are more for classic Macs. Of course, this is a classic Mac, but some of them I've just dragged in here for random reasons. Civilization as well, which I don't know why it crashes on loading the oh, sorry, we need to have SimCity 2000 on here, like mandatory. Got something dropped in here. Oh, I have a folder open. Let's see. Here we go. City 2000 plus ERK. That's what we want. I'm forgetting where it's getting pretty late here now, so we'll just check out SimCity 2000 and probably call it, because now my brain is turning to mush. Maybe it's too much aspartame, who knows? Anyway, it's about loading up the games and having them available, but like I said, I find it fascinating again with ports, also the native games that are a little different. So, but to me, almost SimCity 2000, as much as I played it on DOS when I was younger, is to me Mac game. It feels like a Mac game because that's where I saw it the first time. Well, maybe not the first time, but game is just Garden City. It is late. And we have definitely streamed. We definitely streamed this before, so. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just very iconic for on the Mac for some reason. Maybe it's just the interface. It feels like a very GUI-driven game, right? So I'm building very efficiently right now. Efficient town you've ever seen. We'll cry at how efficient it is. I was also very poor planning when it comes to like when I'm building my network and like water lines. I just kind of haphazardly put stuff out. Well, duh. I build up their resistance a little bit. Like, I love the MIDI soundtrack on SimCity 2000, but also something with this Mac version is just a little, still so happy. I like there's no demand for residential yet. Like, don't they want to live somewhere, or no, we don't need that. Please leave a comment how I'm a terrible urban planner. Like another one of those games that you can just get sucked into and just play forever. Just one more thing. I'm just going to build one little thing. I'm just going to finish this out, and then just, just the cycle continues. Well, we're already polluting over here. I'm sure they wouldn't mind some more pollution. Pollute it all. Well, interesting that they have zero demand for residential. Like, I mean, right? They want to live somewhere. Nope, we just want to work. America. Don't tell me to tax this odds. It feels like any city building game like that is always tough in the beginning until you get a rolling economy. There we go. Now residential skyrocket. There, I live right next to the school. Playing that is loud. Like, in the beginning, it's hard to get the money flowing or going or whatever, because just, you gotta break even, if you will. That's always sort of struggle with cities. Until I kind of get over that hill and things are rolling, then it's not a problem. Until then, it can be a little rough, it feels like sometimes. But yeah. Maybe we'll call it there, I'm not sure. It's getting late. So like 11 o'clock here in Central Time, and it is nice. Since starting 8 o'clock helps a lot, at least. Hopefully it is better for you guys as well to not end so late. And it makes a difference that 45 minutes to an hour there, and being done at 11 instead of close to midnight. Yeah, don't tell me the odds here. And yeah, I keep, like, anytime I casually start a city, I just end up bankrupting it because I'm just building too fast or not building the right things, or spending too much money on utilities and expansion, etc. It's like hard to find that balance in the middle, especially with these SimCity games. But yeah, this machine, you'll see it again. I think it's a really good one to have as available as if you want to stream games from this era, or PowerPC games like this. Now this tower is much easier for me to hook up and stream with than it is to drag the PowerPC machine away from my desk over there. Unplug everything from the monitor. This guy can just slap in. It doesn't have to be set up anywhere. So that's the thing that makes this really appealing. So, true game fact. Or if you're playing SimCity on Super Nintendo, arguably the best version of SimCity, then you just use the cheat for basically unlimited money. So I don't think I played that when I was a kid. I don't think I ever played without using the cheats. I ended up being a city painter. The challenge in SimCity on Super Nintendo is to get it to Megalopolis or whatever, Metropolis, whatever it's called, with the space you have available. That's the hard part. For the same music now. At least on the PC version, you can force the music when you turn it off and turn it on again. Apparently not here. This got a glorious MIDI soundtrack as well. I don't have to see. Can't probably figure out a way to hook this up to the MIDI module here as well. Because you can do that. I actually have a MIDI interface over in my MIDI tower that the Mac I have over there can talk to, and it can send MIDI signals that way. So it does work. But anyway, that's SimCity 2000 for you on the Umax SuperMac. C600. So it's a really cool machine. I'm really glad to have it because it gives you the best of this kind of machine, I feel like, without going overboard. Yes, a G4 or G3 will give you much more performance for later games and everything, but this is a nice sweet spot of the mid-90s. Very, well, era typical machine, and that's what makes these machines so cool. So, but I'll probably get that, don't honk at me, the front panel thing so that I can swap out drives easier and make them bigger. Figure out the sizing on the hard drive, because that's a problem. It's a little nagging on me there, so. But anyway, appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. Ending on the jazzy music from SimCity 2000. Helping out loading this machine up. So maybe we'll do another Tinker stream. People seem to like those. Or we'll mess around with some computer, fix it up or something. Think about it. Or we'll play a Boomer Shooter. Or I'll continue Anachronox. Or I'll just pull something out from somewhere else. Who knows? That's random. Anyway, hope everyone has a good week and a good weekend and good 4th of July. Don't blow any fingers off. You're celebrating. Otherwise, I will see everyone hopefully next week on the next stream. So, have a good one. Good night. On the button.